So Jared,
Yes.
I'm pretty consistent with my workouts and have been for about almost 4 years now, right?
Yeah. Everyone knows that about you.
Everyone knows this about me. All right. Well, about 12 weeks ago, I decided to start working with a personal trainer.
Yeah.
Let me just tell you, these personal trainers, they have some kind of voodoo that they do. Is basically not doing anything different than I've been doing consistently for 4 years. But working with this personal trainer, I am way more sore than so I don't know what kind of voodoo they're doing.
That's good. That means it's working.
But I feel like it's the same thing, no matter, if I do it at home, do it there, but for some reason I'm more sore there.
Maybe they're pushing you harder.
Maybe.
They have to. If you're a personal trainer, it's part of the job description. Got to push you harder. Are you seeing results, though? That's the important thing.
Yeah. There's definitely been progression, yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know that it'd be...
or different results than...
I don't know if it'd be different.
What you...
I don't know. I think it would be. I think it is different than what it would have been if I was... Yeah. I mean, the main reason I did it was to learn better technique, not necessarily... Yeah. But what was always surprising is how much more sore I am from those workouts than the ones I do on my own.
I'm sure there's certain workouts that I do that I probably could be doing better technique-wise. So
shout out to those personal trainers.
Yep. You know who you are. If you listen.
Hey, welcome back to Screen Time TV /streaming.
Mostly streaming.
Yeah, nowadays.
Yeah.
I'm your host, Josh, and Jared, armies may rise, hearts may fail, yet still light endures. It's mightier than strength.
Yes. Yeah.
That's my co-host, Jared.
When the world is still, then the ideas can flow freely.
Yeah. So those are both quotes from the penultimate episode of season 2 of Rings of Power, which
our boy Celebrimbor.
Yeah, Celebrimbor. Both of those came from him. We will be discussing that later in this episode, but before we get into that, a little bit of what we've been watching. So what have you been watching, Jared? I think you sound like you had a longer list than me. I'll let you start a little bit.
Yeah, how many do you have?
I have basically just one thing, really, but I have a few other smaller things to discuss.
Okay. All right. Well, we can start with that because I think that's our crossover one, Agatha.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's start with that.
Okay.
So that's on Disney.
Disney Plus, yeah.
Yeah. I'm curious what you think of this show.
So I only watched one episode. So
Me too.
Okay.
Very divisive Marvel shows, so you never know what you're gonna get.
I think based on that episode, I think from a just blank slate, here's the thing, seemed interesting. It's intriguing. I would say I haven't seen enough, it doesn't really give you what's even going to happen or going on in the first episode. So you kind of just, but the creativity and Catherine Hahn and what's her
Aubrey
name?
Plaza.
Aubrey Plaza, yeah. Both
Puerto Rican queen. Shout out to her.
Are fantastic, and in all the scenes they're in this first episode. I definitely dig in the opening 2/3 or half of the episode where it was kind of a parody of, what is it? To me, it seemed like True Detective or Mare Easttown.
Those are the two I had written down for it. Yeah, specifically. Yeah.
So those were that was kind of fun and
Yeah, it was.
well done, and kind of just almost like a little. I want to say it's like it was not quite full on parody, but like kind of a little bit. Like there's some things they were doing to just kind of poke fun a little bit of like
It seemed
over
pretty
the top seriousness of those shows. But,
yeah, it seemed like they were really going into that with different things that I noticed with that section. Yeah.
I loved even the opening credits for the. I don't know if they're all going to look like that, but the opening credits, at least for this episode,
That one was
like a opening to the crime shows.
Yeah, that one was specifically True Detective because it was like even the song they picked for that and the way the different like dissolves that they would do over that title sequence was very much like season 1 specifically of True Detective. So that's what it reminded
Did
me
you
of.
notice the text at the end? There's like text at the end of that opening. It says based on a Danish show series WandaVision.
Yes, I did see that.
Which obviously is not.
But it was spelled, it wasn't WandaVision, it was spelled like, but basically WandaVision. Yeah, German. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was funny. So, which leads me to like again why I said I assume the next episode the opening's not going to be that unless they keep
probably not.
I because the way the episode plays out, like I don't think we're going back to that true crime period, like world, like that was just her stuck in that and she's out.
Yeah.
So the next opening might be different, which then they'll play with. I mean, I think WandaVision, then they do the openings different for a while because they were the different for decades of each show. So they might play with that same idea in this one.
I hope they do that more because I love that about WandaVision. So,
but
I like this part of the show where they did this as well.
I think so. Overall, liking it so far. Obviously, one episode. All the setup so far seems good. Well made, acting's great, and so really, but that's always the question.
Where's it go?
The overall story, where's it going to go? Because that's kind of the bigger issue these Marvel's shows have had. Like, because it's not like they don't throw money at them to make sure that they look good. It's not like they don't hire good actors. They hired some big names on most of the TV shows they've put out. So the real thing is, how's the script and storytelling, and that we don't know yet. So
no, that's always the worry with these, and it's also, I would say of the Marvel shows, I don't think we're that good. Some were better than others, but especially the last two that we got were like all-time low. It was Echo and Secret Invasion, which
how do you know? I did
awful.
Finish. Yeah, I did finish. I was like, for a second, I had to think, did I even finish Echo? I did finish it.
Okay, I never finished Echo. That one was better than Secret Invasion. Secret Invasion was the absolute worst.
Yes,
it was
all a mess.
It really was.
And it's so because you have some really,
I know
some great actors in that.
Well, we have that in all the Marvel shows.
Yeah, but it's just a missed opportunity too, having like Samuel L. Jackson kind of being like the lead in something.
Yeah, not only that actor, but the character. Is so good throughout all the Marvel movies. And I think it's a combination of the shows, but the movies too. Have been at a pretty low as well. Now, Deadpool and Wolverine is slightly different, but that's integrating into Disney now. So I'm hoping they'll come back up.
We got the trailer for. Speaking of Marvel, we got the trailer for
Skeleton Crew.
No.
Oh no, that's Star Wars. But I thought I saw something recently about that, there like a full trailer.
Oh,
not the teaser that we mentioned a while back.
I haven't seen that, but the first trailer for the next Marvel movie comes out like next May.
Oh yeah, Thunderbolts. I did see that. Yeah, that actually looks surprisingly good.
Yeah,
I was surprised watching that trailer, but we'll see.
Yep.
The new Captain America. I know you're higher on it than I am because I know you said you actually liked that trailer too.
The trailer looked good. Yeah.
See, that one I don't know. And I'm gonna be really mad if they mess up Harrison Ford's character, because it's like just the fact that he's doing this. But anyway, yeah, so my main thing with this, because honestly, I like pretty much every way that you just said is kind of how I feel about Agatha right now. Just really, like, I will definitely continue with it, but it's just, like we always say, cautiously optimistic about Marvel and Star Wars, honestly. Because I've just been burned a lot from both of those properties. But, yeah, I did like the kind of the WandaVision thing they did. Yeah, definitely more True Detective with the title sequence. And then the show, though, was that she was in, you know, for this section was very much more Mare of Easttown.
Yep.
I would say.
Yep.
Because you saw the name of it was Agnes of Westview. So it's like... Yeah. So yes. I thought that was great. And... Oh no, that's it. My notes for that. But yeah, so we'll see. We will see.
Yeah, we'll let you know.
I do agree, though. Catherine Hahn's always great, and so is Aubrey Plaza.
Yes,
and they're both great in this. I actually like what Aubrey Plaza's doing in this, because it's a little different from. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. Kind of similar to the character she played in Legion. If you ever watched that show, I thought she was really great in that. So I kind of like when she does this more sinister, type of side.
But yeah, she doesn't do it as much.
No, but she has range.
Though it is kind of what she did in Parks and Rec.
At times, yeah, that's true.
She was
not like, to that extreme, but yes,
she was like evil in a sinister way.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
All right, what else you got?
All right. So next one we were kind of talking about last week with, I was mentioning kind of checking out new actual network shows.
Oh, right.
Like the fall ones I always like to check out every year. So here's another one.
All right.
This is on Peacock, so it's NBC.
Yes.
Yeah. And it is actually NBC. Like it's not just only, you know, Peacock, like a Peacock show. So yeah, main actor in this, Zachary Quinto, who is Spock.
Yep.
So Josh, stop me if you've heard this before. It's a hospital show.
Oh wait, stop.
Yeah, I know. You can just keep saying stop through this whole thing. Yeah, I'm gonna say it's it's a hospital show about a brilliant, quirky doctor. Okay. Who has a unique brain and a way of doing things. He doesn't go by the book, and he's misunderstood.
Wow.
Oh, and
what an original idea.
Yeah. Oh, and he doesn't have a cell phone, only a landline, because
there's the twist at the end.
That's the only thing. The twist. Yeah.
Like, hey, let's do the House or whatever. Yeah, House, I'm trying to think of like there's
many more than that, but
let's do that show. But he's like, what are the term they use where they don't use computers? I don't know if he's quite one of those, but like a
Luddite.
Yeah, he's Luddite. But he's like doesn't have a cell phone. He's got a landline, and then they're like, yes, let's do it.
Yeah, pretty much. Because there's even a scene where one of his coworkers comes to his house. He's like in the back. She like goes into the back where like in his garage, and he's working out, and she just comes in, and he's like, "What are you doing here?" And she's like, "There's no way I can get a hold of you. All you have is a landline, and you're out here." So it's like, yeah. Honestly, though, I kind of like the show. I was surprised. Yeah, even though it's very formulaic.
Hey. Well, I mean, I always liked him as an actor.
Yeah, me too. Sorry, I didn't mention the name of the show. Brilliant Minds is the name of the show.
Plural. Is there another?
Brilliant Minds. Yeah, it's plural. I guess the people he works with too. Okay. He's not the only brilliant mind, I guess.
All right.
He's definitely the most brilliant, I would say, in this. But yeah, it was cool. The opening of it, I thought, was really cool, where he sneaks one of his patients out of the hospital, and he gets him like all dressed up, and takes him to this like really fancy, it looks like a formal event. And then he gets the guy, gets him on stage at a piano, and like basically gets him to start playing. So Zachary Quinto first starts playing, just to kind of jog this guy's memory. This is an old guy that obviously has
Alzheimer's or something.
Yeah, something like that. Probably a little more intricate because it's like a specific case or person that he's working with. But yeah, so he starts it, and then eventually the guy like kind of starts remembering and starts playing and singing, and then it shows a bride, which then ends up being his daughter that's getting married. But what's really cool is it's like, so he starts to remember this song, sings it, and then he gets up and hugs his daughter, and he like says her name, and she's just like crying because he like didn't even know, he's obviously probably doesn't really recognize much of his family anymore at all. And so it was actually a really cool and effective scene, and the way Zachary Quinto talks about how this specific part of his brain, he said, basically like recalling music that he knew from before, like helped triggers that other part of his brain. So I was like, that's a cool idea. So yeah, I was surprised by it, even though it's such a way too many shows like this. But anyway, but yeah, check it out. We'll see.
There's a reason McDonald's still exists.
Yeah, that's true. People
like what they know.
Yeah, people want to just turn off their brain and like the thing. Well, that's why reality TV shows are still so big. Speaking of that, Love is Blind is about to come back too. Survivor just came back.
Yeah, well, this is the Love is Blind.
This is the
DC.
one?
This is the DC one.
Okay, I'm gonna have to watch it.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, I actually put it down to check it out because even
I'll check it out too.
I've never watched a single episode of Love is Blind.
I've only seen it in passing some, and yeah.
But I was like, I saw the trailer and I was like, oh, is this because we knew they filmed.
Yeah, that was a while ago. They were filming.
That was like a year ago.
Yeah,
but
they pump them out quick.
Yeah,
though.
They do like 2 a year at least, probably. Don't they?
Yeah, just like Survivor's twice a year too. Yeah. All right, so moving along, I got 3 more. I'll be a little quicker with these. Twilight of the Gods. I think I briefly mentioned this last week. Yeah,
you did.
This is on Netflix. It's the animated series, Norse mythology, created by Zack Snyder. That's who's involved with this.
Okay.
Which I didn't even know going into this.
Mr. Netflix nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah. Which I didn't really like his new movie. I didn't even watch the second one, Rebel Moon.
Or the director's cut.
No, but I saw that happen. I'm like, maybe that would make it better. I don't know.
I didn't watch any of it, so I had on the list to check out if like I was like needed something because I'm always curious.
Not great.
I'm always curious, what somebody's doing, and especially if it's a genre or a sci-fi kind of show. And,
oh yeah, that's kind of was the main thing why I was looking forward to it. Yeah, it's very sci-fi. It's very it's hard.
And it was
sci-fi.
supposed to be, his script
like
for Star Wars, and then
that's right.
They didn't go with it, so then he kind of rejigged it to.
Yeah, and he wanted to be like a big IP where they like probably do shows also, and I think he even mentioned video games and stuff because he's involved in some video game stuff as well. But anyway, yeah. So this is that. Yeah. So Norse mythology. Reason why I wanted to check it out is because there's a few people in it that I really like cast wise, like the voice actors. It's a few people from Game of Thrones, but the main one who I absolutely love as an actress is Sylvia Hoeks, who is from Blade Runner 2049. She's the character named Love. You know what I'm talking about? She's also in a underrated show that I feel like no one watched, is the show C on Apple. You remember her in that as well? Yep. Yeah.
She was the one that was when she was the one that was like sisters, but like kind of crazy, and she was blind. But
she plays crazy really well. Yeah.
And she was kind of like queen or something.
Yes, she was. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I never finished that.
I didn't either, and I was just thinking about it because I
think I watched all of season 1 and 2, but wasn't there a third season?
Yeah.
I don't think I watched season 2.
As it went, honestly, it got better from what I've seen. Yeah. So I think it ended strong too. But yeah. So I really like her. So she's the main character in this. So yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
And a lot of nudity. I was not expecting that either. So there you go. If you want to, you can
movies.
Just do all kinds of stuff. Yeah, but it's not like anime type of style. It's animated, but it's a very different type of style.
Okay.
All right. Okay, 2 more. This is also Netflix. Also, I briefly mentioned last week is Monster. So season 1 was about Dahmer.
Yep.
Season 2 is the Menendez brothers. I think I asked you, do you remember this in history? I don't either.
No.
I did look because when I watched it, 89 is the year of it because there's this very specific scene I'm going to talk about that was really cool in it. But yeah, so it's about them. Main reason why I checked it out is because the first season was really good.
Okay.
Evan Peters especially, I think he might have won for it, maybe. Or at least got nominated. But this one is, I don't know the 2 brothers. I don't recognize them. Talking
about the actors.
Yeah, both of them are good though. Those actors, but their parents are played by Chloe Sevigny and Javier Bardem.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think he's even been in a show until now.
TV show, yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Although this is more of a limited series because they did it in the first season. They can get some bigger actors because they don't need to commit for a long time.
Right. They don't have to come back. They just do those 5-6 episodes or whatever.
Yeah, and they're probably not in it a lot, I imagine. They're only in like a few flashback scenes so far, but man, their characters are so great in this. Honestly, really compelling story, even though I'm not familiar with it. It's really good. Just the way it's done is really great, which it's technically Ryan Murphy, which could be hit or miss. You never know with him.
Yep.
But anyways, you should check it out.
I don't remember what the name of the show is, but I've been seeing ads for. I want to say it's on Hulu, but it has it's like somebody on a. It looks like the Love Boat. This reminds me of, but it also says Ryan Murphy show, but it's like on Hulu. I think it was on Hulu, but it's on like a cruise ship. It's like everything takes place on a cruise ship, and it's
I think
I've seen a couple trailers for it, and it's just kind of targeting me, and it's I think it seems like a network show.
Yeah, this is another one. I saw it just came out. I was going to check it out also.
Yeah, just reminded me of that. Yeah, I'm like,
wow, I'm blanking on his name now. I can't believe I can't remember the actor's name, but the guy from Miami Vice. Why can't I?
Like the main guy?
Yeah. I know I'm blanking on his name.
Yeah, I'm too now because you said
people are screaming right now at us. I'm mad at myself honestly because I love him, but and I love Miami Vice, but he's in that boat show or whatever. I think it's called Dr. Odyssey. I want to say
sounds right. I do remember seeing something about an Odyssey or something.
Okay.
He's a doctor on another
Don
doctor.
Johnson. There we go. Yep. Man. Okay.
Yes.
Also, he was awesome in Watchmen too. Although he wasn't in it that long.
No.
But anyway, yeah. So you should check the show out. You said you didn't really watch Dahmer, the first season, or did you? No,
I did not.
This is shot really well, and I really like how because they do well with the time period, with the sets, and I don't know if they do this in post or with lenses. I know you said this can happen in a lot of different ways, but they always make it feel very much of the time with the feeling of the visuals too. Like, kind of looks more grainy and just different things they do. Kind of like that lens effect on lights. I don't know what it's called. I really like it though. It was big in the 70s, although this is the 90s, but it kind of like, I don't know. I can't explain it. I would just have to show you.
Where the light looks more like a
stream. And it kind of goes, yeah.
It goes more left to right and not as much.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's from assuming. I mean, you can kind of do it in post and fake it, but nowadays they normally just, that's if they're filming with anamorphic lenses, it'll create that effect.
Cool. Yeah, I really like that. So anyway, the only thing I wanted to mention with the show, because this second season is actually really good so far. I really like it. But the two brothers go to a movie theater, and on the marquee, and all this looks really good too, really like period appropriate. Batman is playing, Karate Kid 3, and Field of Dreams. So I was like, oh, well, that's all 89. So that's when it is. Technically, it's mainly 90s, I think, is the events of this. Okay. But yeah, starts in 89. So that was really cool to see.
Cool.
All right. Last one. Long Legs. Finally watched this.
Oh.
Yeah. I've been looking forward to this movie. You have not watched this, have you?
No.
I know it's a horror movie, although I will say right up top, it is not a horror movie.
Okay.
It's way more of really dark and suspenseful thriller.
Okay.
This movie reminds me a lot of... Oh, by the way, it's only on VOD. I didn't see it streaming anywhere yet, this movie. So, just renting for right now. This movie reminds me a lot of Silence of the Lambs, Seven, and Zodiac. So that kind of feel, which are all movies I love.
Movies I like that. So
it has that feel.
Maybe I should watch it.
You should. And there's not like jump scares, which is always my main thing that I hate. So, and I will say also, you should watch this movie. It's filmed in a very, very cool way where I think you were talking about this with one of the directors we did recently, where framing stuff in a very particular way where it's symmetrical.
Mm-hmm.
So the director of this does that in a lot of the scenes, and I love it. It's Osgood Perkins is the director.
Mm-hmm.
Are you familiar with him? I wasn't really familiar with him. He's only done a few movies, actually, but he's an actor also. But
who's the cinematographer?
Oh, good question.
Because that might have more to do with it than...
Sure, yeah, for that, yeah. I don't know. I just looked this up, so this will be quick because I was just looking up what else he did. The director. The main actress in this is really great too. I looked her up too. The only thing I've seen her in is It Follows. Did you ever see that movie? Okay.
Nope.
I mean, not really your vibe either, but it was a really cool, stylish movie. Okay. So, Long Legs, cinematographer, Andres Orochi. Let's see. Okay.
Anything of note?
No, and not even done that much. Anyway, you should check out this movie just for that also, because I would say one thing that's really cool. I won't spoil anything. This is one of those movies. It's better if you just don't know anything going into it. The framing also that they do a lot, which I think is really cool, is so the scene. I'll just say the scene is for our main actress. She's an FBI agent. So again, very Silence of the Lambs, Clarice type of vibe. She's at home. She's at her desk, and the way it's framed, it's at night, and the way it's framed is she's facing the camera, or like her desk is here. She's kind of this way, and there's a doorway that's like the whole right side of the frame to like the dining room or kitchen, and the door's just open, and they just stay on that. And she's doing stuff, and the way they have it set up to where like you're like, oh, I'm gonna see something there in the background, and at least for that scene you don't, but it's something where he's really playing with your expectations of it, and it's really cool. Yeah. So honestly, this is one of the. Nothing's going to beat Dune 2, but it's one of my favorites films of the year so far, I would say. And Nicolas Cage it's insane. The character he plays in this. I'll just say that.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. I'll have to.
Yeah, you really should
fit it in my schedule.
Yeah. Well, we're about to go on vacation, so
yeah,
got a little bit of time. Yeah.
True.
Yeah, we'll see how our next pod is. See how much we have. Although we're always doing so much other stuff on vacation.
Yeah.
I don't know how much we'll actually watch.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I don't know if that's.
Yeah,
let's sit at the beach and watch TV, but.
Yeah. So you got some other little things.
Little notes. Well, first of all, I'm gonna say like I'm wearing my. In honor of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom.
Came out yesterday, right?
Came out yesterday, yes.
Nice.
Yes. So I haven't really had time to really play it, but
okay. I was going to ask you how it is,
but I
guess
saw a little bit of just a little bit of the intro, and so far it seems really cool. It's really cool. Very. I mean, they have a good reminisce of the Likes of the Past kind of vibe,
I love that.
Yeah,
I mean, Zelda has a good track record.
Yep. Yeah.
So,
and I figured this would be good. Almost any of the online review places gave it a 9 or a 10, one or the other. So
that makes sense.
So yeah,
I love that you are actually playing as Zelda. That's really cool.
Yeah. It's a new twist.
Yeah.
Just gonna mention the ballerina trailer.
Yes.
So excited for this.
I have a trailer to talk about too. You might actually mention it. But yeah, I forgot the ballerina one also. I was very excited about that.
Yep. That was just looks good. I'm excited.
I love that it's Ana de Armas.
And yep.
And I was surprised that John Wick's actually in it.
Yeah. He shows up at the end.
Yeah.
In the trailer.
Cool.
So that was a good tease.
Do you know if it's still Chad Stilehelski? I can't say his last name. Do you know if it's still him? Doing
I didn't look
stunts. I know he directs and does he's like the main
choreography. Yeah,
because he was a stunt guy, right? Mm-hmm. I think it's where
Yeah, I didn't.
I hope it is.
I didn't look
him involved just because so you can get that same cohesion in the movies. I was thinking about that's one of the few franchises that I think just got better as it went.
Yeah,
like John Wick 4, I think is one of the best of the 4.
It was really good.
And it just keeps, I feel like they keep upping their game. This, I don't know. I mean, it could be different, but.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's an opportunity to change it up some and still have the same cool stuff. But
yes.
But switching it to a female lead and just having a different angle. But yeah.
Did it say, it just said 2025, right? No date.
No date. Okay. So it could be anytime next year, but I wouldn't be surprised. Honestly, I'd be surprised if it wasn't March.
I hope so.
Because I feel like that's a good
earlier in the year. Yeah,
it's either then or September because they don't want to put it against big blockbuster summer blockbusters.
No, I don't see it coming in the summer. Well, John Wick 4 was was that beginning of this year? Was that this year or the end of last year? I can't remember now.
I don't remember.
I know we all went to see it, but I don't remember when that was.
Yeah. Yeah. Then the other trailer I was just going to mention got the full trailer for Shrinking season 2.
Oh, this is not the trailer I was going to mention. Yeah, I saw that. It looks great.
I mean, I think it's interesting. I feel like that show still not enough people know about it.
I agree.
And it's so weird because it's with all the popularity of Ted Lasso, and I think it's I mean, I like Ted Lasso, but I feel like this is a better show.
Yeah, in some ways, yeah. I would agree.
So, anyway, so definitely, if you have not, start watching season 1 of Shrinking, Apple TV Plus, and anticipation of season 2, which comes out in 2 weeks, middle of October.
Really soon.
Middle of October.
Yeah.
What was the trailer you were?
The Last of Us season 2.
Oh, I didn't watch it.
Oh, you didn't? Okay.
I mean, I saw it and I started watching it and I was like, why am I watching this? I don't want to be spoiled of any of this stuff.
Did you not finish season 1?
No, I did. But I don't care.
You don't want to.
I know I'm going to watch it. Yeah. We've talked about this.
No, I know.
How many times do I?
That's true. Yeah.
And And I skipped to the end, and they didn't give a date, so it just said next year as well, which I was like, okay, well then.
Yeah, that I have no idea.
Yeah, whatever.
They're going to do it next year, but it looks really good. I'm just so interested in it because just knowing the story of the second game, it's just, there's a lot of things that obviously I'm not going to spoil anything from the game, but there's just so many very specific scenes that I'm just so curious how they're going to do in this new season. I know this is not going to be the whole game though, because this Last of Us Part 2, the game is way longer than the first game. So first game, they fit all into season 1. This, they already said, Craig Mazin said, at least 2 seasons for the events of this game.
Yeah.
So I'll just say people are not ready for what happens in that game. It gets, if you think The Last of Us is dark, this is Part 2 is like, it goes very dark. But I liked how they released this trailer on they call it Outbreak Day. It's like the date in the game where it all happened. So they always do something Last of Us related in the real world every year on that day. That's cool.
That is cool. I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
And then just a little note that Industry season 3 still really good.
Oh, you caught up?
No. No, I have one. So the final episode of the season, it comes out this Sunday. Well, when you're listening to
it would have came out.
It would have came out. I didn't watch last week, so I have the penultimate, and then, but yeah, so I'll have 2 to watch. But I was going to say we got renewed for season 4.
Nice.
So
seems like it's game.
Don't wait, just run to watch.
Just don't walk, run.
Whatever the saying is,
yeah. I don't know what the saying is. It seems like that show is gaining popularity.
Yeah.
Kind of similar though. Doesn't seem like it's as big as it should be. Like shrinking.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially for how good it is, and how well done it is.
And especially this season having what's his name from Game of Thrones in this season.
Yeah.
You think
Kit Harington.
Kit Harington, give it a little bit more, because I think I have to if there was any guest people, but I think season 1 and 2 there's not really any known actors and
it's just the one guy from that was in Lost for a little bit.
Yeah,
I know he's in it. But
yeah. But it's like you watch it and it's not anybody you recognize until season 3, and then bring Kit Harington in, and so I'm surprised that it's probably why it's getting a little more buzz this season, is because it's a good season, and then you have somebody in that to give it a little bit more.
Do you think this is the best season of it?
Well, I haven't finished it, but I don't know if I would say
so
the
far
best
that you've seen.
I don't say it was best, because it's hard to remember. I feel like season 2 was really strong. I do remember thinking season 2 was significantly, like, it was like, I enjoyed season 1, but then when season 2 and watching it, I was like, oh, that was good. Like, it definitely, and this season is, I would say, at least as good. I just don't know if I would say it's better. It's been so, I feel like it's been 2 or 3 years since I remember when season 2 came out, but it was a while ago.
Yeah.
There was a big time gap probably because of the strikes and all that stuff. That there was time in there. But
do you know if the score soundtrack is available yet, like on Apple Music for this new season?
I have not looked, but the score always is great in this.
Oh my gosh, I know. And I listened to the first one. I just want to go ahead and listen to season 3 of it even before I get caught up, because it's just really great.
All right.
It's time for Based or Waste.
It's that time again. Are you ready, Josh?
As ready as I can be.
Josh's signature catchphrase when we start this show always is as ready as I can be.
Yeah. I feel like I said it different last time.
No, you said as ready as I'll ever be.
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah. Okay. Welcome back to Based or Waste. ever growing in popularity. This time,
4 people love it now.
yeah, four people instead of 3 people. Yeah. This time we're gonna be doing movies.
Oh, you teased this last week.
Yes, because
list
the
isn't
trending
changing.
TV has not really changed as much as I thought it would, and yeah, and a lot of these movie ones really interesting, and I think are going to be harder to predict in some ways.
Wait, did I get it wrong? I got them all right last time.
You did. You had a perfect run,
and you guys didn't tell us what we needed, what prize I get yet.
Yeah,
Right in. Feedback at screentimepod.com.
There you go. I was just going to say the email address, and I'm like, do I remember what? Yeah, feedback at screentimepod.com. Or DM us on Instagram.
Yeah. Or if you know us in person, just tell us.
Yeah, just tell us. Yeah. I'm going to ask random people on the beach when we're on vacation. Say, hey, excuse me, sir, have you heard of this fastest growing internet game? All right. So, people that don't know, I go on Rotten Tomatoes. Normally, I just go to the trending section for TV, and Josh will guess based on the audience score, not critic score, if the show or season is good or bad, if it's based or waste.
Yeah.
This will be movies this time, though. So.
Right on.
All right. I think I still have 10, though.
That's good.
Yes.
Just keep it.
Yeah. I think that's a good number. I've been trying to see what's like a good. I think 10's good. All right. Inside Out 2.
Based.
Yes.
That's easy.
95.
I say yeah.
Yeah. That's just almost unanimously praised.
But experiment laying back. Let's
Yeah.
Right.
Good idea. I've always wanted to do that. But I need to look at my.
I'm gonna. Yeah, you gotta look at your notes. I'm just
chilling. Yeah.
chilling. Yeah.
All right. Civil War.
Based.
Yep. 70.
Right.
That one was more divisive, I feel like, when it came out.
Yeah.
But shout out Alex Garland.
Mm-hmm.
Great director. Okay. Uglies. Do you know what this is?
It's a Netflix thing.
Yeah, it's a Netflix movie. Yeah.
I have. I'm just gonna say waste.
Yes, you're correct. It is a 45. I just saw the poster for it, and
I think
it was someone that I recognize, one of the actors.
I feel like I watched a trailer, or at least one trailer, like months ago when
was it a little bad.
And I was like, oh, this doesn't look good. Yeah. So then I didn't watch anymore. And then all of a sudden I saw it on the thumbnails, and it was like scrolling through Netflix this past week.
I'm sure it's trending on Netflix. It was
trending like number 3 or something, but no.
Yeah. Doesn't look great from what I saw of it. All right. One we just were talking about, Long Legs.
I'm going to say based.
Yeah. This one is surprising, though. It's only a 60.
Yeah.
I think it should be way higher.
I figure that's probably where it is. No, I've heard like you and some people saying it's good, and then I've had other people be like, yeah, it wasn't that good. So
I mean, I guess it depends on if you're into those kind of movies.
Well, I mean, no, some people that are like into those kind of movies are like, yeah, I didn't like it.
Like Seven and Zodiac, Silence of the Lambs. Okay. Because it's very much that vibe. That's why I feel like, I don't know.
And some people claim it's not, so.
They don't think it's like those movies?
You're correct.
No, it definitely is. All right. Yeah, so that was a 60. All right, Hitman.
Based.
Yeah. 91.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
Yeah, really good movie. All right.
That was Netflix as well.
Yes, it was. Yeah. We talked about it a lot. I just love how, like, just throwback that movie is.
Yes.
In a lot of ways. All right. The Crow, 2024.
Waste.
It is based somehow, but it's on the line. Honestly, so when I looked a few days ago. Could have changed some, but it's a 64, which I don't get that. Should not be. It should be Should be down to like what Uglies was, like 45 or something. But yeah, I was surprised.
What is Uglies about? Do we know?
It looks sci-fi adjacent. That's all I know.
Okay.
But probably not sci-fi in my opinion. Probably sci-fi in your opinion, though.
Okay.
We're going to have to do a whole episode one time, just the great sci-fi debate, and just go really into it. Make it a whole episode.
Maybe that should be the new game. Is it sci-fi or not?
Yeah. You come up with that one, that'll be your game. All right. We got a couple more. Trap. The M. Night Shyamalan movie. Also very divisive.
Yes. I'm going to say...
It's funny because I feel like every M. Night Shyamalan movie is like this. It's like people either love it or hate it. And it's always
I'm going to say based.
Yes, but around the same as The Crow. It's a 65.
Okay.
Makes sense. I feel like almost all Shyamalan's movies are like that.
Other than a few, like the earlier ones.
Yeah. I like a lot of his movies, though. It's another director we'll do eventually.
Yeah.
Okay, 3 more.
All right.
It Ends With Us. Just doing more divisive movies. This one had a lot of controversy as well. It Ends With Us. This is more behind the scenes.
Based.
Controversy. Yes. 91.
Yeah, I was going to say, this when you say controversy, and it took me a second to even remember what movie this was.
Yeah, it's Blake Lively.
Yeah, behind the scenes there was stuff with like the director or something.
Yeah, there was a lot with it. I don't know what all's true, but
like the film itself, there wasn't. Like the film itself, everyone seemed to love it. So,
although I think
it made money.
Yeah, it did. Although I think I saw some
hand over
things. Yeah,
it was like really low budget. It still made a lot of money. So
and it's interesting, like they did like cross promotion. It was like her and Ryan Reynolds
because it was out about the same time.
Yeah, around the same time.
Yep.
Okay.
They both had the top 1 and 2 movies.
I saw something about that.
Weekend,
or were you telling me this? And it was like,
I don't know.
This hasn't happened in like decades. Like
it was like a long time when there was a married couple that had 2 different films. And
yeah.
But
all right, 2 more. Borderlands.
Waste.
Yes, but higher than
Uglies?
I thought it was. It's a 50.
Higher than
It is higher than Uglies currently. It's a 52.
Going off the trailers, I think I would, if I had to pick one to watch, I would watch Borderlands over Uglies.
I would too.
If I was like, you have to watch one of these 2 films.
Yeah, I agree. All right, last one. The Fall Guy.
Oh, based. Love The Fall Guy.
Me too. 86. All right. So you only got 1 wrong, right?
Yeah.
Nice. Did pretty well. I think we're gonna, unless there's like big changes. I kind of don't want to mix TV and movies, in the same one.
That would be.
But we might stick with movies for a while. I guess it'll depend on what all's trending. But yeah. So thank you, Josh, for playing, and tune in next week for more of your favorite online game show, Based or Waste.
All right. Well, then that leads us into our show of the hour, Rings of Power, penultimate episode 7, Doomed to Die.
It's a sick name for the episode. It's cool.
Could be a James Bond film.
Yes. Does sound like a James Bond film.
So the synopsis for this episode. Ariane's fate is decided. That's all they wrote.
Well, I mean, Aregion.
Aregion.
Yeah.
Aregion.
The city, yeah.
Yeah, the city. Fate is decided.
Yeah. Yeah. Enough said. That's all you need to say about it.
Aregion. So, thoughts on this episode?
All right. I think it's one of the best episodes of the season, for sure. And just wanted to specifically shout out the VFX, even though we've been talking about it's very good in this whole show, but especially in this episode, because there was a lot. Although, like we've talked about before, there's a lot in the whole show. We were saying like there's probably no scene that has no, like
Probably,
yeah. Every
kind of-
scene has to have like at least some. I'm sure.
stuff replaced or inserted or.
But yeah, the visuals, the VFX especially looked great in this. And yeah, it was definitely a step up from where it's been. I was trying to think if it was my favorite of this season. I don't know if it was my favorite, but it's definitely one of the best. What do you think?
Yeah, no, it was really good, strong episode.
Yeah.
It was, but I think it helped that in two ways. We weren't jumping around to a bunch of other stories, right? Like it basically kind of brought things together. And then what two story really was one main story with a little side stuff with the dwarves, but it was like the two stronger stuff. It's like the stuff with the elves and the stuff with the dwarves.
Yeah.
And that's the strong, like we didn't see anything with Numenor.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't see anything with the Heartfoots. And those are the weaker stories. And then we kind of really even get the human stuff other than the, that one elf that I always forget his name. I have it written down.
I know. Yeah.
But
I think it also starts with an E.
The archer guy, like he kind of shows up and to be part of the like elf storyline,
right?
In this one,
but yeah, still no Isildur or any of that other.
Yeah, but like he was with those guys before, and yeah, we haven't seen them in like 2 episodes. So, but I think that's part of it. They're not jumping around all over the place, and then what they are showing is the stuff that's the most interesting. So
yeah,
and of course then it's really cool battles. So to bring it all.
Yep. I'm glad they're doing that where they're at least dedicating, and I hope they do for every season, dedicating, each season to like having one big kind of battle, just like the movies where, there was one.
Yeah.
Although not as much in Fellowship. There wasn't like a huge, there's some with the orcs at the end, but
yep.
Yeah. But
you also, I mean, you're at the mercy of the books. You kind of have to stick to the.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to, because then you can do what they did with The Hobbit and just add a bunch of crap.
Yeah. Man.
Not that I'm bitter.
Hey, I'm bitter also. It's it's wild what they did with those.
Yeah. All right, so I want to mention well, we'll go through kind of, so we have the orcs aiming their catapults at the mountain to then dam up the river so then they can cross over and on land and attack which I thought was genius, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
that was good.
I've never heard of that happening, like something like that, but I guess it would be like historically with moats and stuff, maybe they would do that. And it's just
yeah, and isn't the whole originally part of the outside of the city, is it all surrounded by the lake, or is it just like a certain part of it? I was trying to think when we see like those faraway shots.
It's
establishing shots.
It's against a cliff.
Yes.
This is the back of it, but then like the whole other side of it is it's pretty much and then I guess there must have been we'll get to later a secret way to get in there, but but basically you had to cross that river, and of course they just have the one bridge to get across. So yeah, so it's pretty well set up to be hard to attack. So Elrond visits Khazad-dûm and has a nice conversation with Durin.
Yes. This was a standout scene because I think they, let me see, I have a note for this. Yeah, I think they have one of the best dynamics in relationships in this whole show, and it feels the most out of any of the other characters. It feels the most like some of the bonds in the movies. It feels the closest to that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's never going to be that. I mean, it's the same with like, we talk about how great this this battle was in this episode, but it's like it's not going to top the movies. Now the effects look better, obviously, but I really like their dynamic.
Yeah. So Durin decides to help and gets all his people riled up and ready to go.
Yeah.
And
pretty good speech.
Yeah. And then his dad, of course, decides to go dig or something deeper himself because no one else was doing it.
He's just becoming more mad. Yeah, we don't see him, but they mention because the one dwarf comes out, he's like bleeding from the head, and he's like, yeah, your dad's. He's getting wild.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then we're back with Celebrimbor, and he's working on the rings. I have a note about the really cool rack focus shot. They had like the close up of as he was kind of bringing the band of the ring together, and it's like almost like a macro shot of that, but then it rack focuses to his face, and he's
yes.
It was a cool perspective.
Yes, it was. I had a note about that too. And I just really like, because I think it was the opening scene. Yeah, because it starts with outside and it's like all sunny and nice. And it's him just chilling out there. And then, I just like, kind of the montage of him creating these 9 rings for men. And some really cool shots in this opening.
But then he starts to notice things are repeating or little things are missing and looking off and different.
This was really cool.
Yeah, it was neat the way they did that. And then eventually confronts Sauron or Anatar, as he's known right now.
I think the coolest part was him actually, and they showed him marking the candle.
Yeah.
That was awesome. And then he's like, oh, this is not burned down at
Evidently, we have all the time in the world.
Yeah.
Because time's not passing.
Mm-hmm.
So he confronts him, and then he kind of allows the stuff to kind of wash away because he breaks the window, and so then he sees how really things are.
Yeah.
Of course, he gets very upset.
That was my other note, was that like that transition I thought was really great. Yeah, when he goes outside and you see reality, and then he walks back in, and then he's all like beat up too at that point. I thought that was done really well, and I want to say both him, Celebrimbor, and Anatar, especially in this episode, just the acting between them was really good.
Yeah.
It has been this whole season, but I think specifically in this episode.
Yes, and then also the reveal of what the Mithril was not Mithril. It was
no, it's
Sauron's blood, which is black. Looked like black ink.
Yeah, it did.
That's crazy. So I find this interesting because I don't know is that book accurate and I don't know. I meant to look this up and didn't have time.
What
is that what they use? I mean, like, is that using his blood to make the rings?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't remember ever reading or hearing about that back when I was nerding out about it and as a 14-year-old boy. And
or still at your age now nerding out about it.
well, back then it was when I was digging into like reading all the extra things that you could find that was written. And of course, we didn't have the internet then, but
no.
Anyway, so I'm curious if that's, and I meant to look it up because, like I said, I just didn't have time. If that's like something that's actually known, or is that something they just kind of wrote to make it interesting? And I mean, it's a cool reveal.
It is, yeah.
And it definitely shows how those were the most corrupt then, which
for
then,
sure,
but
yeah, I don't know. As far as I know, I don't think it was specified.
Definitely not specified in the main trilogy books, but if it was ever mentioned in something else,
and whatever the certain confides that they have the rights to for this show, and continuing with that, I mean, this whole scene I thought was really great, but then him out on the wall, and then whatever that lady is, I forget her name. And he's like says all this stuff to her, and she's just like, "Oh, you're going crazy." Like that's her assessment of it, and then pointing to Sauron, and then he shows his hand, and it's just blood, not black. And this was just really great. Then how he manipulates that scene where when he's going to grab her, makes it show like he threw her off of it. And
once again, like like
we
keep talking about this every week, but it's I think it was I thought of the same when I was watching this, like how well it's portrayed, where he uses little as effort he has to manipulate people so that they're basically doing it almost on their own will.
Yeah.
And like, even though he has the power to like almost like, as he shows in a few times, like to force people to do stuff, but he chooses to like not use that because it's almost like, well, but I don't have to because you're so easily manipulated, kind of thing. And so, and they really show that really well, especially in this episode, because then later, he does be like, you don't think these people are under my control too? And then,
that was another sick scene. Yeah,
it was a cool scene.
There was a line, I don't remember the line exactly word for word, but a little bit later, Celebrimbor says to Anatar how he's like, "You truly are the master deceiver," and then he's like, says something about you even so much to where you can deceive yourself. It was a really good line that he. And even his like kind of reaction to that, Anatar's reaction to that, was interesting.
Yeah. All right, so then Elrond shows up and with forces and is ready to attack the orcs. But before they attack, he goes and meets with Andor. Not Andor. What's this? Arendar. No.
Adar.
Yeah. Too many similar names. Adar. That's right. He meets with Adar.
Right, because the scene, which was really cool, they were charging and then
they stop.
Yeah, because he sees Galadriel.
Yeah.
Well, not only her, but he having a knife to her.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then he tries to negotiate. Blah blah blah. I don't know how I feel about the kiss again.
I know.
I feel like this is the second time they've tried to insert romance and it's just
doesn't feel right.
It just doesn't. No, it doesn't.
But do you see the pass off there? Like,
yeah.
There's a point of it.
Yeah. There's a point, but you could have done that without having that.
No, you're right, because even the way the music is there, and they're really trying to sell that. Yeah.
But anyway, but otherwise it's cool, because he takes the little like little, I don't know what you call it, brooch or something. Yeah, that was on his cape, and then like subtly hands it to her. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I mean, when I was right after the kiss, I was thinking also like Elrond and Galadriel, aren't they related somehow? Right?
I don't think so.
No?
No. They were just like good friends growing up around each other.
I thought, I don't know. Right, write in, let us know if they're related in some way. I mean, that's just an everyday thing in Game of Thrones world, but not in the Middle Earth.
Right.
In Westeros, it's
fair game.
It's just like,
it's every day.
It's just like waking up in the morning. Just a common thing. Yeah, no, I agree that the kiss was, it was weird. Has there been any good kisses in the show or any of the romance? No, because we were talking about how
even the one in season 1 with the elf and where then she ends up dying. I don't know if they even kissed. I don't remember if they kissed or not, but like I think even that relationship was kind of like didn't work. Must be these writers just can't write romance, which is fine because that's not that important part of this.
It's not a necessary thing for
these shows, but just don't keep trying it then.
Yeah.
Because actually I have another note a little bit later about something else that's similar type of And of course, then Galadriel escapes, and this was cool seeing like her like kind of high, like walking around. And of course, then like after a little while, her blonde hair is like hanging out, and I'm like, dude, you're gonna get caught. Yeah. You're gonna get. And then Arendar,
he saves
her. And then, so then they sneak into the city, and they run into Celebrimbor, who has the 9 rings because he was going to destroy him.
Puts him in the fire. Yeah,
I don't know. So, what do you think? Do you think he pulled him out? Why do you think he pulled him out? Do you think?
I mean, I think he just, because of what we see play out like right afterwards, I mean, I think he just changed his mind, and so he put him in there to destroy them. Then he took him out, and then obviously just like in the movies, he's like trying to touch it, and it's like, oh, it's actually cool. It's not hot at all, even when they're like affected by fire. But then he puts him in a little bag, and he's trying to head out of the city, right? I don't know if we know where he's deciding to take them.
Yeah, well, no, I just meant like, did he think, right? Like, was he worried? I mean, was he worried that it wasn't going to destroy them? And then, like, it was like, hey, I'm going to destroy. And then he's like, wait. On second thought, I don't know if this is going to destroy him.
And then also Anatar could just come in and
take him,
grab them. Yeah, very easily if they're just right there anyway.
And then it's like, how much is real and not real because you're being manipulated to see.
True.
So yeah. But anyway, he gives him Galadriel, and he says he's gonna basically delay Sauron and let her get away with the rings.
So leading up to that does he get back, or is that in the same scene where he's back in there and he's actually like cuffed up and like his arms or his hands are bonded? Celebrimbor.
Right, that's before this.
That's before this.
I skipped this because that's when because then he's cuffed up, and then he cuts his finger, and that's to get out of it, and then that's when he then gets the ring.
That's right, because he gets knocked out, but it was like from a trebuchet or something, a big like flame, whatever it is. He kind of, from the impact of that, gets knocked out, and then that's right.
But yeah, so he cancels the Galadriel, and then they take some other guards, and they're gonna go try to delay Sauron. And of course, we assume Galadriel gets away. We don't know.
Yeah.
And then that's where I was talking about the scene where then he laughs, kind of like, hey, you don't think these guys are under my control too? And then he kind of has them all turn and kill each other at the same time.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, it was cool. So then kind of jumping back, then we have the battle, like, so they dam up the water, and then of course the orcs have been attacking, and then the once he knew Galadriel potentially was free, then the elves started attacking the orcs.
Yeah.
And do a decent successful job of like for a while, but then they send in the troll. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this was cool to see them fight the troll and still take him down. But
this is another standout because I know you mentioned before just how good the visual effects look for the troll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the thing that we don't know. So like then at the end we have the orcs all charge again.
Right.
And of course there's not many elves left. Elrond is like, hey, but Durin's coming with his army, and then he doesn't show up. And then Elrond gets taken. It's interesting that the guy doesn't kill him. He just Adar just kind of takes the ring from him, and so he's got one of the rings, elven rings now.
That one is Galadriel's,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, because she gave it to him. Yeah.
Right, and then it looks like
That's where the episode actually ends. Is him taking it. Yeah.
and so you don't know, and I can't remember is the Elven King. I don't know if he.
Gil-galad?
I don't think we saw him die either, did we?
No,
And
I don't
of course,
think so.
Elrond didn't die, but then
No.
our other guy, the archer guy,
Yep.
Anandar,
Mhm.
he got killed.
Yeah, I mean, there's still a chance maybe he's not dead, but I think they killed him, and I have a note about that. I appreciate that they've been killing off characters that just aren't that interesting. Now he was more interesting, but like, even with like the girl he was into last season, where it's just like I didn't really care about that, and I still think this guy is one of the more weaker characters in the show.
Yeah, it's interesting because you want to make the known characters like Elrond and Galadriel like main characters,
But they have 100% plot armor just
Right.
because we know.
But that's what I'm saying. That was my point is like you want them to be because that's what's going to draw in people because of the people what people know. But then because
Even the casuals still know at least
know those
two.
names,
Yeah.
and then that they survive. So every time there's any peril around them, like it's always like, well, they don't die because they're around thousands of years later.
Mhm.
So so that's the only challenge as a writer of
Yeah,
show.
for sure.
You kind of have to deal with that. You just
My only other note is this is also, I think, Celebrimbor. He does kind of like the classic Hope speech, which I think your quote's from.
Yep.
That like it's just like in a couple of different times in the movies, and it's kind of that same kind of vibe. I thought that was
Yep.
that was a cool kind of nod to the movies. The one thing I didn't like, and I thought it was good that they didn't make it exactly the same, was like about like looking to the east or whatever it was, it's sunrise. But I liked how they subverted that some because obviously they weren't there. The dwarves aren't coming.
Yeah.
So,
well, we don't know if they're not coming.
well,
coming,
not at
but
that
like
point.
they were not there at that time.
Yeah.
And that's it. So, what do you think we're going to see in this last episode?
Well, I think we talked about last week a little bit, kind of figuring out how they're going to end this season, like what they're going to end on. I think it's got to be something to do with the 9 rings, like we were talking about. Maybe this season will end on them actually being put on by the 9 men and the dwarves as well, and kind of ending the season that way. I think that probably makes sense. Because we were also talking about how Sauron, it's like, there's not really much he can do at the moment in this season to then carry into the next season. So besides that, I guess we got to come back to our other characters that we haven't really been to in a while. Still waiting on seeing the acolyte chicks in the dark wizard again. You were saying last week, you were like, we got to get something on that to conclude it, and I thought we would in this episode, but
I think we'll go back to them for sure because that's the Heartfoots and the and then that stuff with the dark wizard and
Bombadil as well,
and then the mysterious man.
Yep.
And I assume he's going to get his staff and whatever.
That's true. That would be a good way to.
But I guess
conclude the season.
Yeah. I'm curious what I don't know, because it's like, do we get anything with the elves and the orcs and that stuff and the dwarves anymore? I mean, but then there's the Numenor people, and then there's the other.
That's true. Yeah, there's that as well.
There's the Isildur people, and so I don't.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough because they have so many different scenarios going on
stories,
that
yeah.
like it's going to be tough, even if you want to show a little bit from all of them. Then it's going to feel like almost too much of a mess jumping around that much for the finale. So I don't know.
The question is like, how do they justify them wanting to hand out the rings to the men?
Right.
Like, I feel like at this point they should know better that they aren't good. It's not a good idea.
Yeah.
Unless somehow
because Celebrimbor knows, and he doesn't really say anything to Galadriel about that part.
He doesn't.
Which is interesting.
Yeah. It was just curious and, probably written that way on purpose.
Right.
So it gives them options. But yeah, at the same time, you think that would be the primary thing.
That'd be the first thing you would say when giving it to her. Like,
yeah, don't use these.
Yeah.
They were made with.
Literally his blood.
Yeah. So I don't know. We will see.
Hopefully that just because we have so many different characters and plots that we need to jump around to. I hope the episode is like extra long because I feel like it's going to need to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, each episode has been like, even this one was over an hour, a little bit, but I feel like it's going to have to be, hour 20, maybe hour 10. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, what do you guys think is going to happen in this last episode of season 2? Let us know your thoughts.
And then we haven't decided what we're doing next.
That's true. We have.
I just thought about that.
We'll have to decide next week.
Yeah.
Next week. But yeah, let us know. You can email us at feedback@screentimepod.com and let us know your thoughts on this episode of Rings of Power. Anything else, give us feedback. What should be my prize for getting a perfect based or waste score. All those things. And if you want, you can also like and subscribe on YouTube or Apple Podcasts or Spotify. We appreciate it. And if you want to, you can follow us on Instagram. I'm at Jay Youngbar.
And I'm at Jared Youngbar.
All right. Catch you guys next time.